everyone, welcome back. I've seen this tag go around various different YouTube channels the last couple of weeks and I thought it was a really great tag to get involved in. You guys know I love beauty and makeup, but there's so much more to me than just that, and I thought this tag is a great kind of introduction for you to get to know the real me and kind of the person behind the channel. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more, just keep watching. So let's get straight into it. I have all the questions here on the iPad. There seems to be quite a few, so let's just get started. So my full name is Catherine Elizabeth Campbell. I didn't actually know that my name was called Catherine until I stumbled across my birth certificate when I was 5 or 6 years old. From the moment I was born, I was known as Katie. It's the name that I've grown up with and the name that I still use today. So the fact that I'm called Catherine seems a bit weird to me, and if someone was to shout Catherine in the street, the chances are I probably wouldn't even turn round. My other nicknames are Katie, Kate, I've been called Kit from school. A couple of my school friends still call me Kit, but it's really not my favourite. I have no idea how that nickname came around. It just kind of happened one day, and about 5 or 6 of my closest friends still call me Kit, but I don't really like it, so stick with Katie and we'll be all good. My birthday is on the 8th of September 1992. This makes me the grand old age of 23, and my star sign is a Virgo. I was actually born in the same county where I'm living today. I was born in a hospital called John Radcliffe in Oxfordshire, and I kind of live in a nearby town, which I really like. Whether or not I will stay there all my life, I really don't know. But I like it for now, and I have no complaints about living here. My occupation is a retail makeup artist. I have talked about my jobs in a previous video, so if you want to go back, I think it was called my makeup artist brush belt or something like that, you will see, and I will tell you all a bit about my job. I really do like it, and it means that I'm very flexible in terms of having family time and also doing videos for you guys. This is like a hobby at the moment, but if I could turn it and make it into more of a success, then I'd love to do it, because the whole filming YouTube videos and processing is something which I thoroughly enjoy. So my hair colour is what you see here. Naturally, I am a brunette, as you can see up here is my natural colour, and then I have some kind of balayage highlights through the ends of my hair. I was previously bleach blonde, and although it was fun, it really did cause a lot of damage to my hair, and I'm happy to kind of be a little bit more natural. My eye colour is blue. It kind of varies from day to day. Sometimes it can look really, really blue, and then in other times it kind of looks more of like an icy grey. But I really like it, and it leads me on to my best feature, which I feel is my eyes, just because I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn here, but I've always had compliments growing up as a child on my eye colour, and even today some people ask me whether my eyes are real or not, and if I wear coloured contact lenses, which I don't. These are my natural eye colour, so yeah, I'd have to say my eyes. But did I have braces when I was younger? The answer to that is yes. I first had braces when I was in year 8. My teeth were naturally quite straight. I just had a gap in between my 2 front teeth, and I was never bullied, but I definitely had some name calling, just as you grow up in school they do, and it was something that I felt very insecure about, so I had it on for about 9 months. It rectified the problem, and then I had a night retainer, and then 2 years later I kind of noticed that my gap was kind of getting more visible, even though looking back at photos there was nothing there. So I had braces put on, and I actually ended up having braces on for 2 years while they kind of rectified the problem, and now I have a fixed retainer, which is just like a wire going along the 2 front teeth at the back, so you can't see anything, but it just makes sure that everything is in place. I know this sounds very ridiculous because my teeth were never very wonky or anything. It was just something that was an insecurity to me, and I'm glad that I had them done, and I would have had them done again if I had to relive my life. I'd have them done in an instant. It makes such a difference to me. Do I have any piercings? Yes, I do. I have the first hole pierced on either side of my ear, and then I have the second hole pierced on my left hand side only, just because when I was a teenager I always used to lose earrings and be really sad that I couldn't wear them again, so I had the second hole done, which I feel like my friend did. I think she did it at her home when I was about 14, and it was just so that I could wear the lost earring in an ear, and that was it. So that's the only ones that I have. Do I have any tattoos? No, I don't. My partner has tattoos and they look amazing on him, and I really like looking at different people's tattoos, but just on me, I just don't think they'd suit my style. I am a wimp, so I don't think I could withstand the pain, and I'm so indecisive I wouldn't even know what I wanted. So no, the answer to that is I don't have tattoos, and I probably will never ever get a tattoo, but that's just my personal preference. I am right-handed. When I was younger, my mum used to say that I was both right and left-handed. Is it called ambidextrous or something like that? I probably just butchered that and made that word up, which I feel like is both left and right-handed, but now I'm only right. So yeah, go the righties. Whoop whoop! My first best friend was a girl called Holly. I'm not going to say her surname for like privacy reasons, but she is someone who is still best friends today. She's actually in a ski season in France, and she's going to be one of my bridesmaids for my wedding next year, so hopefully you guys will be able to meet her soon and we can do lots of fun videos in the run up to our wedding. So she was my first best friend. My first awards, I'm not really too sure. I was quite a keen horse rider when I was younger. I owned my own horse when I was about 10, so I feel like I probably had rosettes and things, which would have been my first award, but I feel like it's probably swimming because my dad is a very keen kind of swimmer and diver, and he really installed in us when we were young to kind of learn how to swim and to dive, so I feel like it was probably like a 5-metre badge or something like that. So I'm going to go with swimming and the 5-metre badge. Leads me on to obviously my first sport, which was probably horse riding. I loved horse riding when I was younger, but I also quite liked badminton and hockey. I hated like running, I hated cross country and kind of anything like that, but I really enjoyed like badminton and hockey, so I'd probably say either one of those three. My first real holiday was probably Portugal. My dad grew up in Portugal, he spoke Portuguese, and his family actually all live over there now. My uncle married a Portuguese lady, and obviously they have cousins now, so all my cousins speak Portuguese, which is really nice. It's a little bit of a language barrier, and I kind of wish when I was younger my dad spoke to me in Portuguese, because I feel like learning a language is going to open so many doors for you, and I feel a little bit uneducated when I see my cousins because they can only communicate with me in English, which sounds very British because it's kind of in our history to like not really learn any languages, but yeah, Portugal. So it was probably like Lisbon or Braga or somewhere. First concert, I'm not really too sure. I want to say that the first real kind of like individual concert that I went to was Steps, and we saw them in Wembley, and I think I was around about 10 years old, 10, 12 years old, so that was probably my first real concert. I was a massive Steps fan, and seeing them live was probably like the pinnacle of like my fangirl moment. But we also had a radio station when I was growing up called Fox FM. I'm not sure whether it's kind of like a nationwide thing or whether it was just in our county, but annually we had a concert called Party in the Park, which was in a park, funnily enough, in Oxford, and all the like massive like pop stars used to be there. It was actually quite a big thing. I saw like Gareth Gates and Will Young, and I think S Club 7 were even there, so probably that. Favourite film is a hard one. I studied media studies at college, so I guess I've always been really into films. I think probably my favourite childhood film, like Disney film, would be something like The Lion King, because I love it. I call my dog Simba after The Lion King, and Connor actually had never watched it before being with me, so I had to give him a good old education on The Lion King, so I'd probably say that. Massive tomboy when it comes to films. I absolutely love films such as like Kidulthood and Adulthood, and Rise of the Foot Soldier is probably one of my favourite kind of like gritty British like gangster movie of all time. If you haven't watched it, download it on Amazon Prime or Netflix because it's amazing. Lock, Stock is awesome, and things like Layer Cake and other films like that I love, and I can watch them over and over again because I just love like that British grit that they do. And on the other side, my favourite TV show has got to be absolute trash. I love obviously Towie, Made in Chelsea. I absolutely love like the Kardashians, and Geordie Shore is hilarious. But I also really like, again, tomboy and kind of like crime and thrillers. So there was a TV show on a few months ago called Hunted, and it was basically where 12 contestants would escape their normal life and act like they were on the run for 4 weeks and see if they could survive. And meanwhile, like the top kind of London intelligence would try and track them down, and I just found the whole thing really interesting, where you can kind of see how like the intelligence services work, and I didn't know that, you know, your car can be tracked and everything like that. I really liked it, so I'm hoping there'll be another series on Hunted soon. And obviously, like Big Brother, I've spoken about that in the previous favourites. I could go on and on, but just trash, easy to watch kind of films and TV shows are what I love. My favourite colour is, can I say white? Does that sound too like boring? But I love how crisp white is. White makes me happy. It kind of is very clinical in the sense that I like how clean and like untouched it looks, so I'd probably say white. And obviously I love pink too. Whoop whoop, repping the pink nails. My favourite song has to be Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance With Somebody, which I feel like I want to find like an acoustic kind of slowed down version that we can play at our wedding for our first dance, because I love that song so much. Favourite restaurant, that's a tough one. I'd probably say Helliott's Steakhouse. It's located in Leicester Square above the arcade. I can't remember what the arcade's called off the top of my head, but it's really easy to get to, and especially if you are going to like a theatre afterwards. Like we went to see Matilda, so that's why I kind of booked it. But the steaks there are amazing, and in terms of London prices, they were pretty reasonable. I reckon they were around about £25 per head, which I don't think is bad for steak and chips and a drink. So check out Helliott's Steakhouse if you're planning on going to like Leicester Square area of London. And in Oxford, again, we don't really have many individual restaurants, it's mainly chains, so I'm a massive fan of Italian food, so I absolutely love like Bella Italia and Frankie and Benny's. I also really like the kind of burgers, so we have Byron Burger, which again I'm not sure whether it's nationwide. I know that they have one in Bristol, but I'm not sure about anywhere else in the country. I really like Byron Burger and Atomic Burger and GBK, and I just love all food, as long as it's like really heartwarming, carb, like kind of Italian food. I am all over that, so I'd probably say that one. My favourite store is probably either Zara or H&M. I love every single season what they bring out. I can always find something in there, and I feel like their price ranges are very affordable, but they look very chic and their quality is really good, so either Zara or H&M. In terms of favourite book, I get so annoyed when YouTubers say that they just don't have the time to read, but it really is true. At the moment I just don't have the time. I'm so busy with like work, and when I'm not working I am either renovating the house or I'm wedding planning, but truthfully I just don't have the time to spend half an hour and get really involved in a book. But I have been absolutely loving the Crossfire series. I kind of read it on and off whenever I get the chance, and especially on holiday I will read like 4 or 5 books. The Crossfire series is amazing. It's by an author called Sylvia Day. It's kind of on the same lines as 50 Shades of Grey, but it has more of a storyline, which is brilliant. I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to ruin the spoiler for you guys, but it's the same kind of businessman and like the average plain Jane and how their relationship develops. So go ahead and check it out if you like something on the same lines as 50 Shades of Grey but you want more of the story. I really preferred Crossfires, and I'd really recommend it. My favourite magazine is, this is going to sound so like pretentious and I really don't mean for it to come across this way, but I love Vogue. I have been collecting Vogue since when I was 16. For Christmas my mum and dad always used to give me a subscription, and I still have a subscription today, and I just get so many ideas from it. It's just a really great coffee table book that you can kind of flick through, and although I know that like 70% are adverts, like I get so inspired by looking at it. I can kind of see trends and colours and kind of different things where I can play on and kind of use on like an everyday kind of basis. It keeps me creatively on top of my game when it comes to kind of doing makeup on clients, and I really like it, so I'd have to say Vogue. And obviously I love like bridal magazines at the moment while we're kind of at the beginning stages of kind of getting a theme and planning for our wedding, so it's a toss up between the two of them, but I'm going to go with Vogue just because I have been a loyal subscriber for them for so many years. Favourite shoes are probably these. They're from Zara and I actually got them in the sale, and I have seen so many people kind of, when it comes to shoes, kind of splash out and buy loads, but truthfully I don't even wear them that much, and I'd rather have something like this which is classic and it doesn't break the bank and goes with everything. So I would rather put money towards like a handbag or like makeup and kind of budget like my clothes and shoes. So the next few questions are about my future. The first one being if I want children or not. Well, I have one of those already. What's your name?
Emily.
And how old are you, Amelie?
3.
You're right, you're so clever. This is Amelie, she's 3 and she is my absolute pride and joy. It's the best, honest job in the world to be a mum.
Mummy?
And yes?
Can I have a picture of what my dog called?
Yeah, of course you can. And what's our dog called?
Simba.
That's right, so they are both my children. Simba is a Chihuahua, Amelie is my daughter, she's 3, and we just have the perfect little family at the moment. In terms of the future and whether or not we want another brother or sister, what's the answer to that?
No.
Well, not right now. In a couple of years or so, then we might review it, but I'm so happy with how things are going and being back at work and also being a good mum for Amelie. It's kind of where I envision myself to be right now, and I honestly wouldn't change it for the world. So that's where I am with that. Do I want to be married? Of course I want to be married and have the same surname as my fiance and my daughter and be a proper little family unit. I can't wait. Career in mind is to carry on doing what I'm doing at the moment. I'm a retail artist, for those of you who don't know, and I love educating someone and kind of helping someone branch out of their comfort zone and choose a new lipstick in a colour that they never thought that they could wear, and really just changing someone's mood. I love it and I want to progress somewhere within there. Where do I want to live? Obviously I have spent the last 23 years in Oxford, and although I love it, I can definitely see myself being somewhere else other than Oxford, but I am a home bird as well, so I love being so close to my mum and dad. I'm only a 5-minute car journey away, and I guess I have the best of both worlds at the moment. Do I believe in God? Of course I believe in God. We're having a wedding ceremony in a church, and I feel like it would be very hypocritical of me to have the wedding ceremony in a church and not believe in religion, so of course I do. Do I believe in miracles? Yes I do. Do I believe in love at first sight? That's a tricky one. I definitely believe you can be infatuated with someone and fancy their looks at first sight. However, in terms of love, I feel like love has blossomed when you have a real connection with someone, and in order to do so you need to kind of work out their personality and kind of their character and things like that in order to like develop kind of love feelings. So the answer to that is no. Do I believe in ghosts? No I don't. Do I believe in aliens? Yes I do. I feel like there is something happening in Mars that we are not being made aware of by like NASA or our government, and I feel like it will come out very soon in terms of life on Mars. I believe in soulmates, absolutely, and I feel like my fiance is my soulmate. Do I believe in heaven? Yes I do. Do I believe in hell? No I don't. I believe there is definitely an afterlife. I feel like in order to progress into heaven you have to kind of be a good person, and if not you just don't have an afterlife. Kissing. Do I believe in the kissing on the first date? If the moment's right then why not? And finally, do I believe in yourself? Again, a really difficult question. I believe yes and no. I believe in myself more than I ever did, and I feel like in order to do so you have to reach certain accomplishments and you have to kind of grow as a person in order to truly believe. I feel like as a teenager most people don't believe in them, and I think it's only now that I'm approaching my mid-20s that I'm starting to feel like I do. And that concludes my get to know me tag. So if you guys enjoyed this video then please do let me know, and I tag any of you who are watching it to do the tag and let me know any responses.